We kick off another week of Beyond the Gates with Leslie, arriving at Vernon and Anita's, where the entire Dupree family welcomes her with open arms. Just kidding. They love nothing more than to toss that psycho out the front door, like Uncle Phil used to do to Jazz on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She'll get tired of listening to herself eventually, Vernon says, proving he clearly doesn't know who he's dealing with. This woman won't leave until she's chewed up every bit of scenery in that house. So let's hope they have good homeowners insurance. Danny has the best line of the night, but no one is angrier than Martin, who would probably strangle Leslie to death if his grandparents didn't hold him back. As Leslie explains, she's just looking for some understanding. She wants her daughter to have a connection with her biological family, and for her dad to treat her like a princess. Do you think that's too much to ask? While still tense, the temperature in the room changes considerably when Leslie hands over proof, both in the form of a DNA test and Eva's birth certificate, showing that everything she's been saying is true. Eva is blameless, Leslie insists. Don't hold it against her. Whether you like it or not, she is part of this family. Leslie attempts to make a graceful exit after saying her piece, but Anita won't let the uninvited guest, make that pest, leave without answering for what she's done. You put that girl through hell just to serve your own twisted agenda, Anita tells her. A real mother loves her child, protects her child, and raises her to be a good person with morals, standards, and boundaries she doesn't cross. Shutting Leslie up at every turn, Anita chastises her for filling Eva with paranoia and insecurity and weaponizing her against the family. Shame on you, Anita says, asking what Leslie even hopes to gain from this over-the-top show. Does she want Ted? Or does she just want to secure a place for herself in the community? Either way, she's barking up the wrong tree. What happened between Ted and Leslie was in private, but Leslie's very public display was a direct attack on the Duprees. We don't forget, Anita tells her. This community doesn't forget. So where do you think a woman like you can possibly go from here? I'll give you a hint. It's not where you planned. Over at the Richardsons' broken home, Nicole is struggling to process the many revelations of the day while failing to stomach the shell of a man standing before her. I don't know who you are, she tells Ted. You're not the man that I married, and I want him back. He attempts to downplay the situation, of course, but she isn't in the mood for more BS, calling him a stranger who has been lying to me with every breath for over 20 years. The more Ted tries to defend himself, the more fuel he adds to Nicole's fire. And while it's heartbreaking to see her in pain, it's beyond satisfying to see Ted finally get called on the carpet for his misdeeds. There's also the Bill Hamilton of it all. The fact that Ted turned to him in his time of need is yet another twist of the knife. But Ted's not just a liar, he's also completely delusional, telling Nicole, if there's a way back to your love, I swear I'll find it. I will never leave you. He even says he hopes Nicole will call him at his hotel, but let's be real, Teddy shouldn't bother waiting by the phone. Back at the country club, Kat questions whether Leslie is even telling the truth about Eva's paternity, but Eva has the paternity test to back it up. What you did was unforgivable, but it tracks, Kat tells her. My father did something reprehensible with a ridiculous woman and gave birth to this curbside delivery daughter with half a brain that unleashed hell on what was supposed to be a beautiful memory for my family. Clearly distraught, Eva tries to get Kat to see her side of the story, but Kat only sees her as a toxic parasite worthy of nothing but our disgust and apathy. Eva explains that she'd been falsely led to believe that Ted wanted nothing to do with her, arguing that, despite what he did to Nicole, he may not be the monster Kat believes him to be. I know you're mad at Ted right now, but the love you grew up in, that was real, she says. You're so lucky, Kat. Don't let what happened tonight ruin what you and Ted have, because it is precious beyond words. It's a fair attempt on Eva's part, but Kat is done listening. She calls Eva the sinister creation of a woman blinded by rage, programmed to lash out and hurt people before they hurt you. And just to make sure there's no confusion about where they stand, Kat tells her, "You're dead to me," leaving Eva sobbing alone in the very room where she and her mother blew up the Dupree's lives. After lashing out at Leslie, Martin returns home to cool off, but he remains haunted by her words, so much that he takes his anger out on his living room bookshelf. The place is a total mess by the time Smitty comes downstairs, but not as messy as Martin, who collapses into his husband's arms. "I was just a little boy, a little kid," Martin says through tears. This hurts so much. Smitty tries to be Martin's rock, reminding him that they're stronger than anything that has ever tried to tear us down. But you can see in his eyes that he knows this nightmare is far from over. The episode ends with a powerful montage, as Anita attempts to life the family's spirits with an emotional performance of amazing grace. With her vocals playing over various scenes, we see Kat arrive home to console her mother, while Ted stews in his own misery at the hotel. We also see Eva arrive home, only to find that Leslie has locked her out, and not by accident. As Eva bangs on the door and begs to be let inside, Leslie remains unmoved, knocking back a glass of cheap wine to numb the pain of her defeat. Well, here we are again. It's been a week since our last preamps, and we wanted our readers to know that Beyond the Gates will not be seen on Tuesday, May 6 and Wednesday, May 7, due to the UEFA Champions League on CBS. As we reported last week, those tuning in each weekday at 2:00 p.m. on CBS have gotten their fair share of drama from the new soap Beyond the Gates. We can imagine that some may have been surprised when the show wasn't on. So why didn't a new episode air on Tuesday, April 29? Beyond the Gates was preempted for sports. More specifically, coverage of the UEFA Champions League aired in its place. And if you decided not to turn the channel, you got the inside scoop into the upcoming Champions League matches, plus watched in-depth analysis of strategy, exclusive interviews, expert predictions, special features, and so much more. And if you didn't care about that, we were sorry to report that there would be more of the same on Wednesday, April 30. The first preemptions couldn't have come at a worse time for fans, whose appetites were already whetted for what's to come. As Ted and Nichols' anniversary blowout drew ever nearer, so did the culmination of Leslie's revenge plot. The big question was, would the madwoman's machinations be thwarted by Eva? In other developments, Anita was being urged to retake the stage and show younger singers the way it's really done. Dani and Pamela were starting up their own version of Models Incorporated. And despite Doug's best efforts to quit gambling, the addict just couldn't stop anteing up. This, of course, played into Joey's plans to use Vanessa's real estate firm to launder money. However, have no fear. Come Thursday, May 8, your favorite gated community will be back, and viewers will watch as Nichols struggles to deal with Ted's affair and the fact that Eva is his daughter. Wait until you see the difficult spot Eva will find herself in. We knew Ted and Nichols' party would wind up being a blast, but we had no idea it would be this explosive. But as Leslie's venomous revelations come to light, the community of Fairmont Crest will be rocked to its very core. Look for longtime relationships to be tested, loyalties to be questioned, and lives to be changed forever. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Tuesday, May 6. Talk about bad timing. We're going to be left hanging thanks to Union of Europe Football Association coverage. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Wednesday, May 7. Yes, it's a second day of UEFA coverage, but never fear, all the drama returns to the screen on Thursday. In the meantime, want to take a closer look at the gorgeous fashions on display at Ted and Nichols' party from hell? The pictures are here. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Thursday, May 8. Nicole finds herself struggling to deal with what she's learned about Ted. But the decades-old secrets coming to light don't simply impact her marriage. How will the Dupree and Richardson clans react if the truth about Bill's involvement with the scandal comes to light? Beyond the Gates spoilers for Friday, May 9. If there's one thing we've learned about the Dupree clan, it's that they know how to circle the wagons in the wake of a scandal. But can they recover from this week's drama? Eva finds herself in a difficult spot as Leslie's actions leave the younger woman trying to make amends for her role in what went down. Kat is about to see something that could change her life. And one with this being a soap opera, we're willing to bet it won't be a change for the better. As Marilyn Monroe said in How to Marry a Millionaire, it's just as easy to fall in love with a rich man as a poor man. But staying hitched to a rich man, well, that's a whole other issue, as Beyond the Gates newlywed Haley is discovering. Are there hearts in her eyes when she looks at husband Bill or dollar signs? Oh, there's love there, Timon Kyle Durrett tells Soaps.com. However, when you have power and money and prestige added to that, it can shake things up. It adds a level of difference in that this is new, this is love, but with it comes access and expectations from other people. Haley is certainly learning that the hard way. She's about as welcome in Fairmont Crest as an off-the-rack dress would be on the Paris runway. It goes with the territory, Durrett says. You come into a certain realm, and you may be held to a certain standard. And if you don't measure up, if you will, that power and money and prestige can be the thing that turns your world upside down. At the end of the day, the actor is confident about Haley's feelings for Bill and vice versa. I know there's love there. Haley loves Bill, and Bill loves Haley, he says. But that power dynamic can be alluring in a way that kind of clouds one's understanding of the circumstances at hand. And how, as Cyndi Lauper once sang, money changes everything. Speaking of megabucks, check out the photo gallery below of Daytime's wealthiest families. Beyond the Gates spoilers reveal some major moments in the week ahead, which also includes a number of cast changes over the next 5 days and beyond. Check out who's coming and who's going during the week of May 5 to 9 down below. Beyond the Gates spoilers note that Chelsea Lawson has a new love interest, but it's not who some fans might expect. Viewers learned early on that Chelsea enjoys dating married couples. However, this week, she confided in her cousin, Martin Richardson, that during her latest encounter with a Mr. and Mrs., she seemed to like her time more with the Mrs. than the Mr. The wife of the couple, Allison, appeared canvassed during the week of April 28 May 2, as actress Brianna Roberts has snagged the recurring role. Across town, Robert Christopher Riley reprised his Dr. Carton Fitzgerald role this past week, as the character attended Ted Richardson's and Nicole Richardson's anniversary party. Fans may recall that Carlton emerged on the scene when Nicole received her award some weeks back. He also got caught up in Leslie Thomas's drama when he helped Eva Thomas escape after being locked in a supply closet by her mom. Will fans see more of him in the weeks ahead? Only time will tell. Speaking of Ted, it was announced some time ago that actor Keith D. Robinson has been recast in the Ted Richardson role, taking over the character from Maurice Johnson. It sounds like an air date has been set, as SoapOperaNews.net is reporting that Robinson's debut is scheduled to take place on Thursday, May 15. This marks the very first recast for Beyond the Gates, so it'll be interesting to see if the character evolves or changes once Robinson steps into the part. Are you excited about the week of May 5 to 9? Drop a comment below. Watch the CBS Soap Daily to catch all the drama in Fairmont Crest, and visit CTS often for the best Beyond the Gates news, updates, and spoilers. Wow, that was one of the best episodes of daytime television in a long time. And it was actually a painful one to watch, considering the Monday, May 5, episode of Beyond the Gates featured Leslie making her case to the Duprees. Nicole unleashed her despair all over Ted, and Kat and Eva had it out at the country club. Martin can add Ted, using him to his list of traumas. Eva's whole life has been traumatic, but her mother locking her out of their home was beyond cruel. Leslie held court at Anita's and Vernon's house like she was queen for the day. She acted like she didn't want something out of this confrontation, but she did. She was simply laying the ground for a future payday or whatever she had planned. But she played the long game and wanted to make it seem like she was simply doing this for Eva. It's not what she wanted for herself. She wanted them to accept Eva and not hold what she did against her daughter, Riette. Thankfully, Anita knew exactly what to say in response to Leslie's diatribe. She couldn't believe that as a mother that Leslie inflicted so much trauma on her daughter. What Leslie did to Eva was cruel, and there was no way she was going to enter Dupree territory and dictate what was going to happen. And now we know every word Leslie uttered at that mansion was a lie. At the end of the episode, when Eva used her key to get in the door of her home, Leslie had it latched, effectively throwing Eva out. Poor Eva. Nicole has a way with words. She wasn't giving, and she took Ted to task for his long-ago affair, and for everything he did since Leslie returned to town. She didn't put this all on Leslie. She knew where to lay the blame, and that was with her husband, who lied to her for over 20 years. And when Leslie returned, he had the chance to tell the truth again, and he didn't. It didn't matter what Ted said. Nicole was shattered, and she repeatedly expressed how she didn't know who her husband was. Ted tried to make excuses, but he couldn't. Their conversation ended with him slinking off to a hotel. He didn't want to leave, but Nicole gave him no choice. At the hotel, Ted felt despair and, hopefully, disgust with himself. During Anita's rendition of Amazing Grace, he looked like he was praying for redemption and for someone to wash away his sins. All the conversations in the Monday episode were A-list, but the dialogue during the heated and extremely painful Kat and Eva exchange was transcendent. Arguably, the best part of the conversation was when they realized that their opinions of Ted had suddenly reversed, and they used fairy tale terminology to express their opinions. Kat was now disillusioned with her father. Meanwhile, Eva told her how lucky she was to have the love of a father like Ted. As Nicole's assistant, she grew to love Ted. So now Kat sees her father negatively, while Eva, who once thought Ted was a deadbeat, now sees him as an amazing and loving dad. But you have to see the words for yourself. Beautiful dialogue in the same episode as Anita's beautiful rendition of Amazing Grace. That last montage while she sang was glorious, dramatic, and emotional. Then add Martin and Smitty, who finally seemed to be gelling as husbands. Martin understandably lashed out when he got home, throwing books and trashing the room. Smitty, ever the one to dole out comfort, did just that for Martin, and the two connected. What did you think of this episode? What were your highlights? And what were your favorite performances? Let us know in the comments. Remember, CBS is preempting BTG for the next 2 days. The next new episode is on Thursday.